What's happening, everybody? I'm Ron Horban. You are watching Comedians Uncorked, blah, 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 with blah, blah, blah.
Take two. We're leaving that in.
Hello, everybody. This is Ron Horban. You are watching Comedians Uncorked podcast with what's your name? Pat Largo.
That's all.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Ron Horban. You are listening to Comedians Uncorked podcast. Comedians Uncorked podcast, where they uncork the comedians. I don't know what that means, but they're uncorking.
Perfect.
Now, broadcasting live from the Podcast Palace on Park Street in beautiful and dangerous Clearwater, Florida, it's the Comedians Uncorked podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Tony God and Pat Largo.
Hey, and welcome. It's the Comedians Uncorked podcast with Tony God and myself, Pat Largo. This is great. We want to welcome all of you guys again, man. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. If you're new to the show, if you're new to the Comedians Uncorked podcast, you can subscribe today at Comedians Uncorked. It's on most platforms, including, of course, YouTube, where you can just hit that subscribe button. We would really love you in a manly sort of way for that, because we post some content, a few pieces, a few elements every single week on YouTube. And again, a big thank you, and we said hi to you last week on Breaker. That's our latest podcast platform. Everyone also on Spotify and Google Podcasts and all those great platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in, and a big hi to the folks in the Philippines. So also a big hi to those guys. Don't forget to visit our website. It's comediansuncorked.com. All links are in the description. And of course, a huge thank you to our studio sponsor, Ms. Julie Drolshagen from Century 21, right here in beautiful Clearwater, Florida. You can contact her for all of your real estate and property needs and information at 727-902-9233 or floridabeachbusiness.com. So we got that going on. And we got some Tony God. In the meantime, while I get to the stuff today, good to see you, my friend. It's our first one via Zoom. I'm pretty excited. Let me.
We're going quarantine style today.
Yeah, we really are. We're going so quarantine OG style, man. So we got before we find out what was going on with you, we got some great stuff coming up in this show, which I'm excited about. We have, and you mentioned this, comedians becoming victims of senseless violence. It's real out there, folks. The struggle is real. Also, Jerry Seinfeld is not up to nothing. And then we have right. And I can't wait. I don't know too much about. I just watched a lot of Jerry recently and saw him in some stuff recently, but I don't know if I know what you're talking about in this particular story. So I'm excited to see that. And then great news for us here in Florida: a South Florida comedian gets picked up for a national tour. We're going to talk about that, folks.
That's right.
And then we're going to answer a little later on. Well, yes. And then a little later on, we're going to answer the question of the week, which we posed to you guys last week, which was, who are your two favorite comedians in dramatic film roles?
That's a good question. There were a lot of options.
There were, and like you, I easily went with, I had like 4 or 5 swimming in my head, but I picked a couple, and then I just went with a few extra options of movies that they were in. Yeah. Because you just can't stop like it. It's like potato chips. You just can't have one. I just can't do 2 and give you one movie.
They're like Pringles.
That's right. They're that crispy. So what do you have going on this week, man? First off, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was all right. It was a little somber.
Yeah.
But, we got together with family and everything, so it was cool. Everything was. It was just a little bit more quieter.
Yeah.
But everything was good. So how about you, man?
Yeah, man. For same thing. Somber first Thanksgiving without my mom, so that was kind of weird, in a way. And then I spent. I can't complain. I spent it at my girlfriend's mom's house, and it was just like 4 of us, like her son, and he's like 31, so it's fantastic. He just eats and runs and goes, and fantastic. So then
kids.
No, it's great. No kids, just mom. Just I'm videotaping Lisa and her mother Gail going back and forth in the kitchen about they're going over recipes I've been cooking apparently for the last 35 years, but apparently they're still screwing everything up. Just to hear them kibitz and bitch at each other, it's hilarious. So, but in a nice way. And then I'm ready to watch football. I come over and Lisa's like, hey, telling her mom, Pat lost his mom and everything. And, I'm sure he has some of his family traditions. And, hey, if he wants to come over and just watch some football and everything, and that'd be great. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. Like, I'll bring beer and stuff and some food. That'd be great. Let me just watch some football. I love it. And I go over there and I go, and her mom goes, hey, it's time to watch the movie. And I go, the movie? Is that a football game? Because that doesn't sound like a football game.
That sounds like a weird team.
Right. So I tell you that to tell you this. So Lisa had this surprise where she's taking me in a couple of weeks to Alaska for Christmas and New Year's to hang out with her mom and her sister and her brother-in-law. The brother-in-law and the sister live in Anchorage.
Nice.
I put a sweater on when it's 65 degrees out.
Yeah.
So we're going to Alaska in December. So the movie she wants me to watch, the mother, Gail, God love her, it's Into the Wild. It's a true story, right? With Vince Vaughn and Hal Holbrook, all these stars. And it's a true story about this young kid who kind of ran away from his home at a very, 21 years old, and goes across country because he wants to go to Alaska.
He dies, though.
And yeah, and exactly. If you haven't seen it, folks, the kid dies at the end.
It's a true story.
True story. But the scenery is breathtaking.
Yeah.
And how he dies, I'll leave it up till you watch, because it was a good one. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
I know how he dies.
I know. So do I now.
You're an idiot, man.
He was stupid. But I'm thinking to myself, I said, Gail, is this supposed to be uplifting? For A, it's Thanksgiving. Number B, I'm going to Alaska in a couple of weeks. Is this what I'm supposed to be looking out for? A bus that I can die in? So
it's not encouraging.
It's not encouraging. So that was my Thanksgiving. So needless to say, I drank heavily.
Well, how did that Shopapalooza go?
Oh my God, I'm glad you brought that up. I was just telling you before we went on air here. So, and I mentioned to you guys last week, I got to MC the entertainment stage for Shopapalooza. It's the biggest shopping event in Florida and perhaps the country, the biggest small business event. 2 days this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday, right after Black Friday at Vinoy Park.
We need that now. We need that big time.
Dude, we not only do we need it, it was insane. We had vendors and food trucks running out of food. It went from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. We had some people running out of stuff at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
There were so many people. And when I mean, but safely done. People who were, I'm sure they were vaxxed. People had plenty of masks on. It's outdoor. It's a huge outdoor 11-acre event. Yeah. So don't give me any comments about, you're a killer. So it was huge, man. The media coverage was amazing. And thank you to all our local stations. But I mean,
you were all over the local stations.
I was tired. Yes, I was tired. I mean, Fox 13, WTSP Channel 10, ABC Action News, WFTS. Thank you to you. Bay News 9, Tampa Bay Times, More TV, MOR. Anyone else I may have missed? WFLA Channel 8 TV.
Yeah.
You guys had my vocal cords humming, man, because I was talking to you guys all weekend. So a huge event with Local Shops One, my friend Esther Venuzio, who created this whole thing 12, 13 years ago. It's amazing now. It's crazy when media contacts you and say, hey, we're coming to your event to cover this.
It's something they want to cover, yeah.
Dude, it's crazy, man. So thank you for bringing it up. I'm still drained. I'm on my 4th cup of coffee. I'm just like, I could just sit here and nap. I'm so tired from this last weekend.
Well, don't do it. Not yet. No. We got stuff to talk about.
We're talking
comedy. When you're asleep.
I know. We're talking comedy, and I'm happy to be here with you. And what do we got coming up first here? What is this? We have the comedians become victims of senseless violence.
Well, this is now this just happened this past week here. A couple of different comics, different scenarios.
Yeah.
For what happened to them. There's this one comic from Memphis, Dimone. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. But basically, this guy, I guess he was trying to, like most comics do, trying to get attention.
Yeah.
They're trying to get people to pay attention to him. They're trying to say something shocking. Well, he decided to go online, I guess on Instagram. I'm going to play a little bit of the news clip that they had running here. But apparently he decided to comment on a rapper who was recently gunned down, who was recently killed.
Oh, wow.
So in turn, because he was talking about him, he got gunned down. So that's like just ridiculous. But so here, let me see if I can play some of the audio from the news. Hopefully you can hear it here. Let me see.
Identified the victim as 21-year-old Marion Childs, a rising comedian here in the Bluff City. Here is Jordan James live with how loved ones are remembering him.
He spoke out about young Dolph, which brought a lot of attention
Yeah.
to him over the last few days.
A little bit.
In a series of Facebook posts, Childs questioned the outrage people were feeling as a result of Dolph's death. Tuesday night, he was down at Bolero on Watkins and Frazier. Memphis police say they have not determined if the Childs is connected to any other incidents in the city. Childs' family tells WREG that his words were taken out of context and has nothing to do with the slain rapper. Now that y'all seen that.
So that guy.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was gunned down. So that's like one of those things where I get it. You want to get attention, but I mean, you got to kind of measure the temperature of the room there, because he's there talking about this rapper who obviously had enough followers and obviously was, they're more real gangster. So they're going to retaliate just for remarks. So,
Right.
So the guy's dead now. So that's like, it's crazy that people are reacting like that.
It's and I think, and that's the first comedian. That's something. I mean, I know it happens all the time, but yeah, I've never heard of like an entertainer like this, like a comedian. I'm not talking about like rappers like Tupac and Big. I'm talking about something like this where he just mentions something and then soon after gets killed himself.
Yeah, just for saying, just for posting a comment online. So it's really gotten extreme when people are just trying to, obviously he's trying to be funny or he's trying to connect. He's trying to get attention with saying something a little bit more outrageous.
Right.
But I'm sure he didn't think it was going to end up like this.
Costing him.
This is really insane.
Yeah.
Well, here's another story. Now this guy's kind of completely opposite direction here, because this guy was a magician comedian, and he got gunned down in Los Angeles. So let me see if I can play this. You might have heard this story.
This TikTok magician from Lehigh Acres
Can
was
you hear it?
killed in an armed robbery in Los Angeles. Matt Price went to
Yeah.
Lehigh Senior High and often performed at local comedy cafes.
Just hours ago, ABC 7's Christy Soto sat down with Bryce's mom in Lehigh Acres.
This is in a robbery.
Her son lived and was cut short thousands of miles from.
Matthew Price was a 27-year-old magician and comedian from Lehigh Acres. Price was a TikTok sensation.
Magic dice atomizer. All you have to do is shake it.
His magic captivated thousands on social media. So he moved across the country.
So he was
to
from
follow
Fort
his dreams.
Myers.
Yeah. A lot of people know him from here.
While walking to a
Yeah.
convenience store in Los Angeles. Something he did every day. A wonderful, sweet, loving baby who did not deserve what happened to him. His mom spoke to him minutes before it happened. He said, "I love you, Mama." That's the last time I heard from my son. The last time his mom saw her son was on Price's 27th birthday.
That's Matt Price. So he was caught in a robbery. So it's like this violence is just crazy. And to top it off, now that guy, like you said, he's from Fort Myers.
Yeah.
So he's from Florida. So he moved to LA,
Yep.
trying to pursue his career, and he got caught in a crossfire. Yeah.
In the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, I didn't ever get a chance to work with Matt. I have heard lots of good things because just seeing the posts last week, late last week, about people working with him and him getting murdered and him moving from Fort Myers to LA, which is, it's just great to just go big like that, do your thing. And no one had a bad word to say ever, apparently, about him. That's how cool he was. And that's just to be,
It just goes to show that there's no one thing that can cause it. I mean, it's out there and it's real. And this is happening, this is crazy that it's happening to as many entertainers at once, just in these extremes. So
when we had that story last week about comedians, go, or maybe the week before, going about like the lady on stage at the Jacksonville Comedy Zone, and Ron Hortman, our guest, knew that guy who was on stage at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, damn, man, I'm kind of glad that at least this happened wherever it happened, where this comedian got killed. I don't think it was in a comedy club, right? Was it?
No, I don't believe so. I have to pull up the story. I'll have the link to it in the thing. But yeah, the details. I don't recall exactly. But these are none of these happened inside the comedy club. These are just comics. Basically just going about their lives, and doing what they do.
But my point is, with more people now getting more brazen and just going on stage and storming stages, whether it be at concerts or comedy shows. And at least at concerts, you got band members and you got instruments. On a comedy stage, you got the mic stand. That's about it. I mean, otherwise you're pretty much alone up there.
That's my weapon of choice.
Yeah, right. That or the stool. I mean, that's all you got.
Yeah, I hate when they hand me a cordless mic. I'm like, hold on, I got no weapons, man.
I know, I gotta have something. Right. It's true though. You're right.
To work with here.
But I'd rather have it that way than them waiting for him to go to a show and going to the club and shooting the club up at a show and killing him or something, but maybe injuring other people as well. Because I gotta tell you, man, nowadays, when are we gonna start seeing metal detector searches at comedy shows?
That's escaped my why the reasoning why hasn't that happened yet? I mean, that's just logical.
Yeah.
That's just really logical at this point in time, because people, the truth is, if people are going to complain about, their right to weapons and all this stuff, their gun rights and all this crap, well, then guess what? Then you should be okay with metal detectors in businesses as soon as you enter, or even being locked out until they let you in to make sure that they're safe. Because in order for you to carry a gun, to walk around freely with weapons, we know that there's going to be a certain amount of element that shouldn't have the weapons, and they're going to still frequent these venues as well. So everybody's still in harm, regardless of whether you have a weapon or not. Sometimes it's about who draws first. So if the bad guy draws first because of the element of surprise, which you don't dictate just because you own a weapon, then we're gonna have to get metal detectors, get metal wands, whatever. If it goes off, then send the people back to their car, put it back in your vehicle or something.
Right.
Can't come in the venue with that.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous.
It's just getting like you said, it's getting a little dicey out there now. I mean,
dicey, man.
So it's just not good. But anyway, well, I mean, that's just the main thing. You got to watch. We love freedom of speech, don't we, Tony God?
We love freedom of speech, and
sometimes it'll make you catch it. It'll make you catch a bullet, though. Sometimes, huh?
But that's the thing. The thing is that people mistake freedom with no consequence.
Right.
You got freedom of speech, but just because you said it, you're free to say it, doesn't mean there's not consequence to what you say.
Correct.
You can say it, but somebody may take it a certain way. Comics know that very well. That's one of the reasons that comedians are more apt to fight for free speech, because they understand that it's not about what I say, it's about how you take it. I can't dictate that part, but I have the right to say it. So if you take it a certain way, a negative way, and nowadays people react violently to a negative response,
Dude.
You got to take that into consideration. How far away am I from the first table? If these people don't like me, can I move? Can I make a move here?
So
it's like that. You know?
Where's my exit strategy? Which part of the stage? How do I? If they're coming left, where do I have room to the right?
Yeah.
Because it's true. You know, when you're a little bit blinded by the lights on the stage, you can see the first couple of rows. And you're right, though. You got to kind of measure that going. If they just decide to bum rush right now, like sprint straight at
Yeah.
me, I got to do a little Barry Sanders action and try, because otherwise.
I need to know what my time is in a sprint.
Yeah,
What's my best time?
I thought my 40 time was 30 years ago.
What's my time with 2 beers? You know,
That's
you gotta measure it. It's like, okay, this is the second show. I'm a little winded. I
Right, yeah.
Between shows.
Yeah, if it's a
I
second
might not
show.
be fast. I might not want to challenge this second show here.
Right. It depends on how much they've been drinking. But you're right, though, man. It's like people, and again, I wish we could just have a nice discussion about that. Like, it's free speech, and I give you the green light to say what you want to say, but I'm probably not going to do anything bad to you or want to do anything bad to you. I might be like, oh, that's bullshit. I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to like throw.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's the whole idea.
Yeah, I just want, like, comics can say what they want, people, but just if you don't want to laugh, again, I have no problem with you not laughing. I have no problem with you just thinking to yourself, okay, this guy isn't funny or this girl isn't funny, but no heckling. But sure as hell, don't be coming up on stage. Don't be thinking, man, you know what? I don't like what that guy said about guns. I can't wait to go to my truck later or my car later. And when he or she exit the building, I'm going to fire a couple of warning shots over there. I mean, we don't need that, folks. That's all I'm saying. So it's just weird. I'll even give you a quick side story about that if we have time real quick, Tony. So at my Palooza gig over the weekend, I was talking with a buddy of mine, and he lives in St. Pete, and St. Pete's a very cool city here in Florida. It's St. Petersburg, but it's getting more woke, so to speak. And everyone's all woked up, man. Like I said, I think I said it for a while now, Tony, getting woke makes me tired. So eventually the woke people have to get some rest. So there's a American Stage or some theater place down in St. Pete. They're doing a new version of Romeo and Juliet. And I swear, if I'm lying, I'm dying, and I'm breathing right here, and I'm not dead. And he tells me, he goes, hey, man, he goes, they have a new version of Romeo and Juliet. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, they have the new version. It's the same type of play, but at the end, it's a happy ending. Nobody dies. And by the way, if no one saw Romeo and Juliet, a spoiler alert, they die. So, and I swear to God, he said that. He goes, oh, my daughter is so woke. She's offended everything. And all the young people here in Pinellas and St. Petersburg are so woke and so offended by stuff that they didn't want the regular ending. They wanted the whole story, but a happy ending to make him live happily ever after.
Wow. You know what? They can't do that. I mean, did they do that on stage?
I believe
did they have?
Yeah, I think it was a stage production.
Well, I guess it's Shakespeare, so it's not like, there's no rights to it, so anybody can do it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The reality is that if they're doing that, then you wrote a different play. You're not doing Romeo and Juliet, because Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy.
Right.
It can't be a tragedy if they don't die.
If there's no tragedy.
Well, you don't want a tragedy. Do a different play. Do something.
Right.
Then write a different play and don't call it Romeo and Juliet, because that's not Romeo and Juliet.
No.
You don't get to rewrite it. The one that you have the right to is the one that's been written. Now, if you rewrite it, then you have to rename it.
Right.
You don't get to change the story. Otherwise, there's that's infringement. So,
that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
So there goes Titanic. I said they're going to have a tough time with the Custer remake.
Oh, jeez.
That didn't end well.
The thing is, you can't do that, because it's like you're trying to deny reality. You're trying to you only want to live in a fanciful world where everything ends well.
Right.
Everything ends happily. That's not real. And if that's what you're projecting, if that's what you're telling people, because you don't want to face reality, these kids are going to have an even harder time as they get older. They're the reason you don't want to cater to that crowd as a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. It's like, because by the time they're old enough to actually see you, like they might watch clips of you right now, and they're going to cancel you.
Yeah.
Then 10 years from now, they're going to go back like, man, that was spot on. That perspective was spot on. I didn't know, because I was a freaking idiot They tried to change Romeo and Juliet
I know.
into a romantic comedy.
Right. When I was 19 and 20, I didn't realize that the Titanic just had to brush the iceberg and nobody dies.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I didn't understand reality. And that's a true story.
Right.
That's a true story. It's
And
like
that's what I'm
this
saying.
really happened. It didn't get by. All the other boats got by. The reason you know about this one, because it didn't get by the iceberg.
It didn't get by. And if we didn't have Titanic, we wouldn't have Leonardo DiCaprio.
Damn right.
And
we
Rose.
need to, and that's where we need to end that.
That's right.
That's not listen. Don't mess
right.
with Leo, man. Don't
I'm
mess with Leo. Leave him
No,
alone.
no. I like him. I still like him. What's
The guy, he died. He sank to the bottom of the sea in the cold water.
ice cold?
Ice cold.
Yeah.
He got attacked by a bear, slung around.
The Revenant.
That's right.
Great movie.
That looked painful. That looked very painful.
That bear
And
beat the shit out of him.
he broke glass with his bare hands for Tarantino,
Yes.
just to reveal that he cut himself. So I think the lesson here is leave Romeo and Juliet the fuck alone.
That's right.
I think.
That's right.
All
Amen.
right. I think we need to get to the next story.
Let's move on. This is going to be good, thank God. Number
This
2,
is
Jerry Seinfeld, you say, is not up to nothing. Tony God, please shed some light.
This story comes to us from Good Housekeeping.
What?
GoodHousekeeping.com. That's right. Here's a headline. Jerry Seinfeld shares a big career update, and comedians in cars, fans won't be happy.
Oh, no.
So basically, the story is that this looks like it's the end of comedians in cars getting coffee. You know, he's done with this. He went on to the podcast, actually, Smartless podcast, which is with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. They talked about comedy, cars, and his love of baseball. In the process, though, he shared 2 major pieces of news. And we have a feeling comedians in cars getting coffee fans won't be too thrilled about one of them. So basically, he was talking about ending the show. It's been on for a while, and he's moving on to another project. That's the summary of what this story is. So if you're into that show, you like comedians and cars and coffee, which is really cool, which is, you know, a cool, simple idea. And he reveals in the article that it's not as simple as it looks, you know, with all the details and all the editing and so forth and all the production stuff that people don't see. But he's ready to move on. And let me see what this says here. He's
See, man, I'm just
he talks about his new project. Okay, so as for what Jerry plans to do next, this is from the article. We know that he is set to produce, star, and direct the upcoming Netflix movie Unfrosted, which is supposed to be about the creation and history of the Pop-Tart. So
he loves Pop-Tarts.
Right? So he says, I have some meetings about the movie thing, not yet rolling. Early next year, we start rolling. As for his role as director, Jerry joked, it's a lot of work, which I don't mind the work, but I don't really know what I'm doing.
Right.
So he is going to be ending the comedians and cars getting coffee, moving on into movies, it looks like. So
wow.
I think Netflix is picking up. Netflix is landing a lot of these big names to do these projects. And I mean, you know, Jerry Seinfeld, that's like, you know, he's like gold.
Oh, yeah.
He's a golden goose, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Everything
well, that's what I love. Like you said, that's what I loved about comedians in cars. Like every episode is about 15 to maybe 17 minutes long.
Yeah.
The only episode that went longer for the most part was a 2-parter. I think he only did one, did two 2-parters, one with Jimmy Fallon and one with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And I think those two with Eddie Murphy were almost about 30 minutes each. Like he was hanging out with Eddie, and that was so cool. But other
So you
than
got to
that,
imagine the footage they didn't show.
exactly. And I encourage people. It's still on Netflix. So I just watched it with my girlfriend a few days ago. I said, "Hey, you want to watch this on Netflix?" She goes, "Yeah, you've been talking about this." And she loves Jerry. She loves the old show Seinfeld, which I can't believe has been off the air now, or stopped producing their shows for 23 years now. Can you believe that?
Isn't that
1998,
insane?
98. Can't believe it.
That's insane.
That went by like that. So, but I love comedians in cars, and she's digging it. So, but he's so quirky. I will watch whatever this Pop-Tart movie is.
Well, the thing is, it's called Unfrosted. That's going to be on Netflix. But the thing is that he lands these shows. I don't know how many times he's had ideas that didn't fly, or like he pitched and nobody picked up. But whatever he's done, it lands and it's successful, and he always leaves while it's still successful. Always leave them wanting more. That's that's something I learned as a kid, leave them wanting more. And he's like the one person I've always seen do that. And that's what you leave it while they like it, so that they remember you. They're going to turn on you eventually, but while they're there, it's like they're going to like you more than they won't. So that'll be interesting to see that. And go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and he doesn't really probably have to do much, for money nowadays. He's got that bankroll, so I think whatever he does now, it's just a love of the art now. Whatever he wants to do now.
Yeah.
I mean, because
he hasn't had to do anything for money in a while.
Ooh, dude is loaded.
Yeah.
And I forgot the ungodly amount of money they were going to give him, not just the rest of the cast, but specifically him, to do more Seinfeld per episode.
They were all making really well. I mean, just like at that time period too, like with Friends as well.
Yep.
That's where these guys are really just renegotiating like crazy and having. I mean, that was the cash. That was the time to do TV right there. Network TV. That was perfect time.
Everything else after that, man, it's been silly. But God, the money he walked away from. He did like the Chappelle Show gimmick. They offered, like I said, just him alone. I forgot how many millions per episode, and he just said, "No, I'm good." And he just boom, that was it, man. So kudos to him. So I don't know if the wife now is a little sick of him, and she's like, "Hey, you gotta get out of the house now and go do something," and he's just started to do this Unfrosted thing. But again, I'll watch it. I'm a Jerry fan, so.
Well, here's some more good news on it in the news. On a high note,
give it to me.
With some comedian success, she just got picked up on a national tour, opening for Gilbert Gottfried, Lisa Correo from South Florida, which I don't know if you know her. I know her.
I don't.
I know you know of her at least.
Yes.
So so she's already set to do several dates from December all the way through May of next year. So the first half of the year there. I'm sure she'll be scheduled for the rest of the year. She's been around for a while. She's actually done a lot of work with Patton Oswalt. She's opened for him a lot.
Okay.
Some really good guys, so it looks like she's going to be coming through, starting out down in Fort Lauderdale, where she's from that area. She's going to Arizona, Colorado, Toronto, Indiana, Ohio, Missouri. So she's going to be all over, opening for Gilbert Gottfried. Now like I said, she's been around for a minute, and she was actually on the Nickelodeon show called Every Which Way. I don't know if you. Really? I haven't heard. I think it's like a kid show. She was a character on the TV series Ramona.
I've heard of Ramona.
Yeah. So she's done some stuff like that. So she's been around for a while, and it's good to see that she's hitting the road with Gilbert Gottfried. That's awesome.
I love that, and hopefully we'll get Lisa on. That'd be great to get her on sometime down the road here.
Yes.
And get some Gilbert stories. And of course, people who are listening, if you want to give us a shout, on YouTube or let us know on any of the podcast platforms you're listening to, what we're talking about. not just whether you dig it, but if you're like, yeah, get this guest on, or hey, can you look into this guest or something, or this comic, we'll try to reach out, man.
Yeah.
With social media nowadays, hey, all I do is literally just type and go, you want to be on a podcast? That's all I do. And if they say yes, cool. If not, I move on.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, Lisa. Yeah, she's down in South Florida right now. So yeah, it'd be great to have her on. And if you want to check her out, she announces stuff on her social media all the time. Like she announced this on social media.
Mhm.
And the tickets for Gilbert Gottfried's at gilbertgottfried.com. I'll probably put a link of that as well. But yeah, so that's great news.
Good.
Another Florida-based comic hitting the road with another great headliner, legend.
That's
So
what
look
I'm
for
saying.
that.
Yes, I love it. You know why we do that, folks? Because we're here in Florida. That's why. We love seeing our Florida folks. I don't care from the Panhandle down to the Keys. I don't give a damn. To me, it's all local here in Florida. So it's good to see comics, man, either headlining, all the great comics that have come out of Florida, really big names, and to see something like this, like Lisa getting her thing opening up for Gilbert Gottfried. So that's so cool, man. I love that. Go kick ass, girl. Are we ready, Tony, for the
Question?
answer of the question of the week that we did last week on our
Yes.
Comedians Uncorked podcast? This was a fun one. You've had a lot of good questions. This one was really, really, I like this one a lot. So the question was from last week, who are your two favorite comedians in dramatic film roles?
Hi, I wanted to call in and tell you who my two favorite stand-up comedians as dramatic actors are. Oh, by the way, this is Aniria. I would have to say that Monique is one of them. I love her as a comic and I love her as an actress. I really enjoyed her roles in Precious and in the movie Bessie, which I've seen a million times, as her role as Ma Rainey. And my other favorite comic that is an excellent dramatic actor would be Robin Williams. If you haven't really checked him out, which I can't imagine anybody who hasn't seen him in a dramatic role, but my favorites are definitely Good Will Hunting and 1 Hour Photo. Excellent, excellent work on both of their parts.
Go first. Go ahead.
All right. So I had to do a honorable mention
Okay, I know you do.
for, just because this is for film. So I wanted to mention on TV,
Uh-huh.
Richard Belzer from Law and Order. He's been on the TV drama show. He was on there for years. But
Right.
years before that, he was a headlining comedian. He came up with like Richard Pryor,
Yes.
Letterman, all those guys. But yeah, he's been around for years. He was successful as a comedian. Then he went on Law and Order, and he was there forever. And if you didn't know he was a comedian, you just thought he was a dramatic actor. So that was a cool one. There's some other ones, but for the favorites for the film dramatic roles, there are several. But I'm going to give you a couple real quick. One is Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Whoopi Goldberg, Color Purple. Yeah, she was awesome. But yeah, she's been a dramatic actress. She's obviously comedian, Tony Award for or one-person show on Broadway. The obvious answer a lot of people would think of was Robin Williams,
Right.
which is an excellent choice.
Yeah.
But it's obvious.
Right.
So I wanted to go a couple other people different. One, Jim Carrey
Yep, that was no.
was another great
Yep.
great comedian, great dramatic actor. And Monique, Precious.
Precious.
She won an Academy Award for that role.
Yes, she
Best
did.
Supporting actress.
Yes, she
Yeah,
did.
She was intense. So
That's
there's others, but there's those
Yeah.
are some that stick out.
yes. And the last two you mentioned, Carrie, yes. And then I was thinking, just now I was thinking, was her name, it was a one name thing, was it Monique or something else? And then you said it, Monique. I'm like, that's it. So, and that was
Yeah.
awesome, right? Because like, she was like not supposed, I mean, like when she was nominated and then won, that was like a total
She didn't
Surprise,
expect to
right?
win. Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't expect to win that one.
That's awesome.
Huge.
Mine, I did go obvious with Robin Williams only because he had so many.
You
but,
have to. You have to mention him.
I remember him years ago. Me and my parents watched Good Morning Vietnam.
Mhm.
Right? Was it Adrian Cronauer he played? I think that was the DJ's name in Vietnam that he was portraying.
Yeah.
Adrian Cronauer, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember offhand.
And that was great because I had a cousin of mine in Vietnam. Now, I also thought of, I know he did a 1 hour photo.
1 hour photo.
Which was a crazy one. I
Yeah.
also said Patch Adams. Patch was I know it was based on a real doctor.
Yes, that was a
Dr.
great
Adams.
movie, yeah.
Yeah, like Hunter Adams or something like that, but his nickname was Patch. And he
Yeah.
was a doctor in real life, not Robin, but this other guy was a doctor in real life who his passion was to help people, especially sick people. But
Yeah.
also he wanted to use laughter and stuff like that, a natural type thing also to help patients.
That was with Cuba Gooding Jr. was in that movie.
I believe Cuba Gooding Jr. And then like that was right after my dad passed away. I was just like 99 or something like that. So it was an emotional movie for me. So it was kind of funny, but it was also very intense.
He's got movies like that across the board that you don't even think about until you start talking about it. But like,
oh my God, you got that? Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting.
Dead Poet Society.
Dead Poet Society. I'm sorry. Did I say good? No, he wasn't in Good. Was he in Good Will Hunting?
Yeah,
Yes.
Good Will Hunting.
Okay,
Yeah, he won an Academy Award.
Yeah, I know. I got confused. That one, but yeah.
What's the other one? The one with Robert De Niro. When he was the doctor, De Niro was in what's I can't think of the name right now. But you know what I'm talking about.
Folks, help us out right now.
Yeah, what's the word? What is it?
The hell is it? I know what you're talking about. I'll have to ask my phone after I get off that. I don't want to interrupt the show now. But that one right there. So Williams across the board. And then I went with Michael Keaton in Batman.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. And people right now are listening and go, Michael Keaton, what are you talking about? And I go, yes, because he was a comedian.
Yes.
And I know because I checked it out with Tony last week, and he goes, yes, he was a stand-up. In fact, we had a Neri attorney on. I think we did this off mic, and she's like, he was a comic? And so, yeah.
You can look it up. You can find clips of him doing stand-up.
And that guy is able to play so many different roles. But I loved it in, was it 89 or 90? That was the first Batman movie.
I think it was like 89.
Maybe 89, I want to say. Yeah, because a buddy of mine had the big cardboard cutout of Keaton, in the outfit there. And that, like 92 was my best Halloween. I got to actually rent that Batman costume. And I felt awesome in it. But
a quick check on the film is called Awakenings.
Awaken. Oh, wow. I have to rewatch that because I forgot some of that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's good. Yeah. But it's like Seinfeld said, and Steve Harvey in Comedians Uncorked, in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, they were talking back and forth about stuff. And they said, you notice that there's great comedians can go on to be really great actors, but great actors don't go on to be great comedians.
Yeah.
So you got that base of comedy and that pain and everything you're hiding or suppressing for the most part, and then how you carry it into a whole new area of art on screen. And it makes a lot of sense. So that's really cool.
It's easier to become revealing because you've already revealed so much as a comedian, You're very vulnerable up there. So it's like it's easier to get into those vulnerable situations in a script. So.
True. You're like an open book up there. So, all right. Hey, you want to do, should we do this week's question?
Yes.
All right, great. Let's do. All right, here we go. So this week's question of the week is, what punchline from a TV show is stuck in your head? Mm-hmm. So what punchline from just a TV, it could be a TV show from 50, 60 years ago.
Childhood, maybe.
Right. Your childhood.
From yesterday.
What? Yeah, could be a show you're watching yesterday.
It's like a theme song.
Right.
You get a line stuck in your head. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
So
that's a
right
good one.
away, I'm thinking a couple of obvious ones. I'm trying to push those to the side and think about when I was younger. It's the things you say at school because you hear them. It's a certain, it could be a sitcom or something like that. And you say it back and forth, or you've been saying back and forth for the last 35 years. You're like, it never gets old.
Yeah. Yeah. You know it. It's like sometimes you don't even realize it's from a TV show. So you're like, oh man, I got a couple already kicking around. So
Yeah. So we
Save
invite. Good. So we invite you guys who are listening. Again, you can leave us comments like on YouTube. You can answer on, give us a message on Spotify, any of the platforms that we can contact us. Just let us know what you think.
Yeah. Leave your answers.
That would be good. Now, I guess, is that your doggy in the background?
That is a dog. There are dogs here.
You got to, my man.
Oh man. Yeah.
So this time of the show, we normally like to provide one of our interviews, and we had some great ones the last few weeks between a Neary attorney and Ron Hortman and John Jacobs. And then this week, I was trying to get this guest the last 2 or 3 days, and she was unfortunately unable to get on the show with us today.
The fellows had to take a short break. Apparently, there's a bit of an indigestion problem, and they're down the hall. You're now stuck with me for a couple of moments, so let me just say, I don't use shoehorns any longer. They're bad for my feet. They make my bunions hurt. And lunch meat. Oh, lunch meat is bad for you. Huh? Oh, they're back. Here again, Tony Gott and Pat Largo with Comedians Uncorked. And stay away from that lunch meat.
Oh my God, it's almost time to let people know where the shows are.
What?
It's time for Where They
Where
At?
they at?
And don't forget, we're going to work on a little jingle for that soon. I'm working on it, I promise, folks.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Hey, can I throw mine in there too?
Yeah, kick it off with yours.
I got a couple of things happening this week. On the 2nd, on Thursday night, is the kickoff for the New World Laugh Lab at the New World Brewery. So just you can go to the website, check that out, or find it on Facebook, on social media there. New World Brewery, New World Laugh Labs, open mic, 7:30 is the start time. It's a full list already, so just come out and watch if you're in the Tampa Bay area. Corner of Nebraska and Bush is your best bet. And then on Saturday, I have no idea about the tickets on this, but I picked this up. They called me. I'll be hosting a matinee over at the Tampa Improv.
Really? Oh,
yeah. I think I can't remember. I believe the headliner is Brad Upton.
Brad Upton. Yes, I was just going to mention that. And where are they at?
Cool. Yeah. So you might have that information. But yeah, they that's something that happens as well, kids. If you're a comedian, you have a home club. A lot of times, like the Improv or like Sites, whatever, they'll have a stable of comics they keep a list of, and that's their go-tos for the shows in the area, local shows.
Yeah.
Or if they're recommending for like private events, that kind of thing. Somebody calls a club, can you recommend? So that's what we do. They call us, see if we're available, if we're in town, if you want to pick up that gig or whatever, and that's how they help us out, keep us in business. So, but that's what I got. So I'll be doing those two things this weekend, and then preparing some more clips for the website, for YouTube.
I like that, man. And where's the, people were wondering, like Tony just said, it's basically where Tony and myself just tell you where some of the comics are in and around not only Florida, but around the United States of America, such as this. I'm going to be at Bonkers Comedy Club in Winter Park Friday and Saturday. So it's going to be tomorrow and Saturday. And Twisted Root Burger Company going to be headlining that. And I will get the, I forgot, he's got a cool name, the features name. I'll have the name on the Facebook page and stuff, so we give him some love too. So I can't wait to do that. First time at Twisted Root in Winter Park for Bonkers Comedy Club. At Snappers Grill and Comedy Club in Palm Harbor, Florida, Valerie Storm. She is funny. Nice. And no, she doesn't spell it the way you think. VALARIE, because she's a superstar. Valerie Storm, and Larry Venturino is going to be opening for her. Tampa Improv, you were just mentioning about it. It's Kev on Stage this weekend. And then I got confused because he's there Friday and Saturday, but then I see another guy there Saturday. I'm like, how can that work? And then it's the show you talked about early. It's the matinee at 3:30 p.m. with Brad Upton. I want to say he's a dry bar comedy guy.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Apparently he's like, I think he's gotten the most views on Dry Bar, like so many millions of views.
Oh, wow. Okay, I did not know that. So I know dude's funny from what I saw.
I think that's what I saw, but yeah, he's a Dry Bar comedian, so
that's cool. I like that. And I'll be honest with you, I'm 51. I am not that far away from going to a 3:30 show for anything. I'm there, man.
Nap time after that.
You ain't kidding. I'm tired right now. Raleigh Improv this weekend has Angela Johnson. That's the one we had with Ron Hortman a couple of weeks ago, folks. And he's the one that opens for Angela. And I forgot her actual marriage. Angela Johnson. I forgot that the last name that she uses her husband's last name now too. I forgot her. I'm sorry, Angela.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure.
She is as funny as she is gorgeous. And our boy Ron Hortman, our local guy right here from the Tampa Bay area, he gets open for her a lot. So that's pretty cool. Chicago Improv has Finesse Mitchell. So he's going to be out there. Love him. He's going to be in Chicago. Adele Givens is at the Arlington Improv. Des Moines, I'm seeing you in Iowa because I was there for a few months doing radio way back in the day. Des Moines, Iowa, the Funny Bone has from Atlanta. Tony, ready for this? Dale Jones.
Nice.
Love Dale.
Dale Jones, yeah. Is he in Atlanta now, or is he still out in LA?
No, him and Jody White, they live in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, they live in Atlanta. Now, I assume that's full time because I think they're grandparents now and stuff. Believe it, they look still young, but they got grandkids now. But I think they're based out of Atlanta now. But if you're in that area and you're in Des Moines and you want to go to the Funny Bone, if you haven't ever seen Dale Jones, go do it. It'll change your life. What else we got? Oh, Teehees. That's another club in Des Moines. Teehees in Des Moines has, he was on Conan 3 times. Brad Wenzel is going to be there this weekend. Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, Florida has the very funny Frank Del Pizzo. And I did this before I do my quick shout out. I have one more here at the, actually, no, I take it back. I'm going to go into our special shout out, which is the Philippines. The Philippines, Tony. I was just looking it up. I didn't want to see I didn't know who was playing there and if they had comedy clubs, but they got a bunch. So shout out to the Philippines, who apparently likes the Comedians Uncorked podcast. They've got the Polari Comedy Club. Shout out to you. Laugh Strip Comedy Bar. I looked up the Punchline Comedy Bar. They have the Enjoy, but it's E-N-Joy. So it's Enjoy. I hope I'm saying it right. Enjoy Comedy Club. And also the Laugh Line Comedy Bar. All of those are in the Philippines. So thank you guys for enjoying comedy.
Well, I got news for you.
What's that?
Since then, we've also added, I guess we have a couple of listeners over in Australia.
Really?
Showing up in the demographics.
Well, thank you guys.
Australia? Hey, mate.
And I feel bad. Yeah, because are they still locked down? That's probably why they're all locked down in Australia.
Yeah, there's nothing to do. We gotta check out the Americans. See what those crazy fools are doing.
I know. I'm so sorry, man. That's if you're still locked down there, man. Fight the power. It's all I say. Fight the power. And maybe Governor DeSantis, our Florida governor, can go over to Australia and help you guys get unlocked. You shouldn't be unlocked. You shouldn't be locked like rats. For God's sake. Did I make this political? I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, I think you're turning the tides here. Crazy, man.
I'm sorry, man. But be healthy down there. But thank you guys in the land down under for listening to us, man. So that's so cool. So we got your question of the week. Which is really cool. What big line from a show is still stuck in your head from all these years? So we want you to answer that again on Spotify, all the different podcast platforms.
Well, you know what? If you answer the question, if you do it, if you can try to do a voicemail, like go on Spotify, you can leave a message.
Oh yeah,
and say the line as the character or something. Give it a twist.
Oh, that'd be cool.
How about that?
That'd be cool. Yes, do that.
So some JJ Walkers out there. We got any?
Oh, you didn't say that. You ruined it for about 1 million people. They're like, that was the one I was gonna say.
Say it. I don't care. But
That's
I mean, that's the thing. It's like it'd be more. Wouldn't that be fun though? I think we should do that. Have people record it. Drop a voice message or a voice file.
A voice file. Yeah. Just do that. Yeah. On your phone real quick. Or if you're at home, just, do the line that's in your head, but do it like that character.
Yeah. Drop an MP3.
I know. That's a great idea, man. So, Tony Gott, how you doing? Anything else last second for you? Anything you want to add?
I think that is it. I think we just got to give a shout out and let people go on their way.
Yes. Are we getting the light? We got to be going here soon, probably.
We're getting the light.
So cool, man. So again, thank you guys, man. This is our episode 7, and just thank you for being a part of this, man, for listening and watching us on YouTube, and of course, watch our social media pages for upcoming guest interviews. And like, comment, share. Please leave us a review, good, bad, or indifferent. We love to hear from you.
Yeah, that helps us out a lot.
Exactly. They really do. It helps us to grow. It helps us to learn what we're doing right or wrong. I mean, and just, this is all new to me. So, I mean, I really enjoy doing it. So we want to make it as good as we possibly can. So, but I think I did see the light though. So I only have a few seconds. We gotta get out of here, man. Time to go. Again, thanks for listening to Comedians Uncorked podcast with Tony Gott right over there. My name is Pat Largo. As always, laugh. You deserve it. Stay safe. And we will see you next week right here on the Comedians Uncorked podcast.